Hey guys, how's it going? It's Janie over here at JaniesSweets. Welcome back to another Friday Fixes episode where you ask me your cake questions and I do my best to answer them for you. Now today's episode is going to be all about difficult customers. We've all had them, we've all dreaded them. So if you want to learn my tips and tricks on how to completely avoid them or how to mediate difficult encounters, definitely keep a watch. Before we get started, I do want to take a little bit of time to ask you guys to please subscribe to the channel. If you have not done so already, I will make a new video every single Friday, so let's go. Difficult customers. Oh my gosh. We all have our fair share of horror stories. I could go on and on and on and on about my cake horror stories, and I have in the past a couple of videos before. I have shared a few things that have happened to me. So what I want to tell you is that if you are dealing with a difficult customer, the first thing that you need to remember is that if this is not your fault, there is nothing you can do. They're just a difficult customer. I like to categorize them or group them into three different sections. Now, the first section is at the order. Now, these are the customers that before you even get started on the cake or on the desserts, they are difficult. They change their mind constantly, or they can't make up their minds. They're rude to you. Like, even I've had so many people message me, how much is this cake? Or, you know, oh, hello, hi, how are you? My name is Janie, nice to meet you. You know, just people who are just very snippy and they think you owe them. These kinds of customers, or my favorite, picky customers. They'll be asking you for crazy things, and then those are normally the customers who don't even want to pay you for what they're asking for. So if you're dealing with a customer like that, my best tip for you is to not take the order. Now, this might be controversial and you might need the money. If you want to take the order, go ahead and do it, but 9 times out of 10, I guarantee you, those customers are normally going to be the worst experience that you will ever have. If they start off being bad, most likely they're going to continue being bad. They're going to give you issues while you're making the order. They're going to give you issues normally afterwards. That has been my experience. If it has not been yours, go ahead and keep working with these difficult customers. But my rule of thumb is if you start out being bad, you're most likely going to continue being bad, and I don't want anything to do with you. So what I tell them is, I really do apologize. However, I cannot, you know, make this cake, or I'm booked for that day. That's just my favorite line. I'm booked. They can't say anything. I'm booked. What are they gonna do? So avoid a headache. Avoid these customers altogether. The second kind of difficult customers, you will find them at the stage where you're making the order. Those are the customers who micromanage everything you do. They either want to see a picture of the progress of the cake, or they're constantly nagging you about this, about this, about that. These customers, the best way to deal with them is to have a contract. If you do not have a contract, I highly suggest that you get one. I have an awesome video that I will link down below. It walks you through how I made my contract, what's in my contract. So all of these things will be covered in the contract. So things like when you know, they need to pay you, because a lot of people, let's say you have an installment going on, they just stop paying you, or they don't send you the money when you're supposed to get it. Things like that will all be avoided in the contract. So that's my best tip to avoid any difficult customers in the middle of taking the order. If you do, however, encounter difficulties, it's very easy at that point to just pinpoint the people, especially when it's people who refuse to pay you, to just don't make the order. Simple. Now, the next kind of difficult customers are the customers that you're gonna find afterwards. After everything has been done, you've delivered the cake, or they've picked up the cake or the sweets, and now they are nitpicky and finding fault with the cake that's not there, like that's not the correct shade of green, or whatever stupid stuff they can come up with. Or they will just badmouth you to their friends and family, write horrible reviews on your website, on your social media. These kinds of customers, now the best way that I find to deal with them is to completely ignore them. I'm sorry, this is what we've talked about. For example, somebody who says this is not the right shade of green, I do apologize. You know, this is what we've talked about. Maybe on the computer screen it looked a little bit different, and I'm not talking about something that you actually messed up on. If you have messed up on an order, I do have a video that I will link for you guys below. I actually broke a wedding cake on my way to deliver it. Like, it completely crumbled on me. If you haven't seen that video, I will link it for you below, and it will walk you through what to do in that situation. Now, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people who are actually just finding fault with the cake that's not there. So what you tell them is, I do apologize, this is what we've talked about, this is what I've delivered, and then you're done with that. You can't control bad reviews. All you can do is try to mediate the situation. If they are, you know, constantly haggling you, you can always block them. You can always report them if you're using social media. But my best tip on how to deal with these customers is just kind of ignore them. Ignore them, just say I'm sorry, and then move on with your life. Like, it's not the end of the world. Bottom line, what I do want you to understand is that at the end of the day, there is no going around getting difficult customers. But if you avoid those customers that are difficult at the beginning, you might have a better chance of not having difficult customers in the end. However, if they do slip through that first stage and they get to the second stage where they're difficult in the middle of the order, a contract is your best way to kind of, you know, push them to the side. Like, you just refer them to the contract and say, hey, I don't do that, please refer to the contract that you signed. And then if they get past that second stage and they get to the third stage where they are difficult at the end, just ignore. Again, apologize for whatever mistake they think you made, and then move on with your life, because there's really honestly nothing you can do. Haters gonna hate. So there you have it. These are my easy tricks on how to deal with difficult customers. Again, if you found this video helpful and you've enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel so that you do not miss out on any of my future videos. I love you. I'll see you in the next one.